Good morning, everybody. We are back with a new recording of Tiny Swords Tactics. Joining me again, as always, is my housemate, Pete Soloway.
Hi.
Pete is actually going to be testing out some new stuff. So I've been getting ready for the Tiny Swords Tactics Kickstarter. So if you take a look at this right here, this is actually my prototype box for the final Tiny Swords game. So I actually have a fancy design for the inside and outside of the box. I've got temporary versions of the tiles that I've been working on. Even has some rudimentary temporary back art that I've been using to promote the game. Even a little side art. So I'm going to actually have this on display for the final Kickstarter. I'm really excited to get all that going. It's going to be launching October 18th. I've been working on this game all year, and I'm very excited to get that going. One of the things I'm actually excited to show off today is I'm having Pete and I play a quick game of tactics, trying out two new teams. So I've been working on the 4 base teams that appear in Tactics. That is Moon, Sweet, Spooky, and Mermaid. But I have other teams that I want to make too. So today we're actually going to be playing 2 new ones, Clockwork and Robo. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and push this off and talk just a bit about the core game. So if this is your first time watching me play Tiny Swords Tactics, it's a new game that I'm going to be kickstarting October 18th. And the best way that I like describing it is basically a Smash Brothers tabletop game. In this game, players are going to be controlling these team of tiles. Each team has 6 tiles, including one of their own that is a captain. So I've got, for example, an unusual team here. These are rudimentary tiles right now, so I don't have final artwork for all of them, but right here is their team captain. And during the game, players are trying to eliminate each other's teams. If a team loses all 5 of their teammates, or their captain, they're eliminated. So Pete and I are going to be playing in order to eliminate each other's teams wholesale. But this game can be played, of course, with more than 2 people. In fact, I recommend playing with at least 3 or 4. We actually played a 5-player game the other night, which turned out pretty well. So I'm really excited to see more players added into the final game. But during this game, Pete and I are going to be using these tiles to slide around and push each other. So our goal is basically to push each other off the table edge or else so far away that we can't make it back to the center stage. Now during the game, these tiles are going to be placed around this blue tile right here. This is called the heart of the battle, and as long as you're connected to it either by the sides or by touching another tile touching it, you're safe. But if one of your tiles becomes disconnected, such as touching the corners, or is pushed away entirely, you have until the end of your turn to return back to the heart, else that tile is gone forever. Now, the 2 teams that we're playing with today have some different rules from the normal game, which is the exciting thing for me about doing expansions, is that once I have the core rules set up, now I can start playing with them in really interesting ways. So, Pete, you're going to be playing Robo today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk a little bit about Clockwork first, just because that's a little closer to what normal play is like in Tactics. So in Tactics, players take actions during their turn. They take up to 2 actions by choosing a tile and then choosing whether they want to flip, move, or fight with them. So if, for example, a tile is facing up, they can flip them down to turn into a wall, so that other tiles cannot push them along. During the game, if tiles are face up, a tile can move, such as this character right here, and they can push all face-up tiles in their way. But if a tile is face down, it can't be pushed by anybody. But can't do anything else. But these are interesting because the Clockwork tiles have specific move rules. They have restrictions, which kind of commingle with the actual captain powers. So Herman Schwartz is the name of the character that I made for the Clockwork Captain, and what this Clockwork Captain can do is actually upgrade his tiles. So this character right here, for example, has that little icon right there, a speed of 1, which means it can only move 1 space in that direction. But the Clockwork Captain can put a token on there, giving it a speed now of 2. The catch is that all non-Captain Clockwork tiles, everybody except this guy right here, all of these characters have to move in a straight line and at their max speed. So this character, for example, it may be able to move 2 now, but instead of going 1, 2, it has to go 1, 2. Or 1, 2 in a different direction, which may end up actually causing problems for them. So there's also abilities for the captain to remove tiles. On the other hand, Robo has an even more interesting rule set, I think, because you're basically playing Bomberman with these characters, which is that you're using these tiles in order to explode other characters. So instead of just picking one tile nearby and attacking them like you would normally in a game of Tactics, you actually pick a tile and then explode and actually damage all the tiles around. But that's based on how many damage tokens this particular character has accumulated. So during the game, like Super Smash Brothers, you're picking a tile, you're attacking someone, you get to add these little damage tokens, which are represented in these little pink coins right here. So we're going to grab a bunch of these to go ahead and get started. And Pete, actually, if you want to go ahead, we can, if we've got time, we can go ahead and set up the game right here, just while I'm talking. So if you want to go ahead, do you want to go first or second?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down my first tile. So this setup is just an easy way to start the game. So I'm going to keep my captain face up so I can start using their powers. I'm going to grab this card right here. So Pete, if you want to go ahead and put your next tile down. Flip this around just so we can have all these right side up. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy right here. And then we'll just keep adding new tiles until we've got the whole setup going. So as long as all of our tiles are connected by the sides to this heart right here, we're all safe. But of course, we're trying to find ways to play around with that. So I've got all my tiles done, you've got just the one more, and because you're going second, you get a bonus token. And this token allows Pete to take an extra action during his turn. Oh yeah, so this is a reference card, by the way. This side right here is for one of the earlier captains in the core game, but every card I've got has a double-sided feature. So for example, there's your Robo card, and there's the reference card generic rule side, basically. So these are the things that every team can do. This is the stuff your team captain can do, specifically. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and take my first action. So I can take up to 2 actions on my turn. And one of those is called Upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade one of my characters. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this guy right here, just because I want to be able to damage them. Sorry, I'm going to turn that over. So this is a damage token, this pink side, and this blue side is a bonus token. So now this character has a speed of 2. And I'm going to, let's see, to start with, I'm actually going to go ahead and upgrade this guy right here as well. So I'm just going to have 2 characters that can move 2 spaces at a time. So that'll be the end of my turn. Now it's Pete's.
Okay, so I can move my bombs. I can't attack with them. So my captain has to attack them if I want to add tokens to them.
Or I attack them.
Right, or trick you into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only move my captain once and attack once per turn.
Well, you would be able to attack somebody nearby, for example. So there's no restrictions on like using a move and a move, or an attack, or using the same tile.
Sure.
So you could in fact attack 2 different characters at the same time to add tokens.
Yeah. But then they explode my stuff as well as yours.
Potentially. You have a choice to move them. So if you, say, attack them, you're just adding damage tokens, but you decide when the character explodes. So you can move them until they're ready to be exploded.
Now, if I attack... So, let's say I use my robot captain to attack this robot bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It would get 2 damage tokens, and then because it's got 2 damage tokens, it would slide 2 in this direction, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it would still be connected.
And then next turn I can move my captain over to it, attack it again, and then it moves 4.
Well, that would be 3 actions if you did that. So that would be moving and then attacking a second time, right? So that would be, you would be using your token.
No, I just said on my next turn.
Oh, on your next turn, sorry. But yeah, you could totally do that.
Yeah, and then it would be bumped 4 because it retains those tokens from before. Okay.
So any tile that it was next to would have basically 4 spaces pushed away.
Got it. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I don't have to do that. Next turn instead what I could do is explode it, which I can do without moving my captain, right?
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to move your captain to explode it.
Okay.
Your captain just has to be face up.
Got it. Okay. So the early game is going to be all about me adding tokens to my bombs and not really focusing on damaging you, while you're just trying to eliminate my bombs as quickly as you can before I get a chance to detonate them. Okay. In that case, I will do this. So it is 1, 2,
so
and I get those.
Yep. So you're going to put 2 tokens on there.
And then I can move my captain, or I can attack another one.
Or you can move one of your bombs if you want to push them somewhere More
That's
neutral.
right. Okay. And you're okay, so this machine, all of your machines only can move in a straight line at the maximum move speed.
Yep.
These all have one move. This one has two because of
And so is that
the
one.
bonus. Okay, right. So I see. So you're all about pumping up your move speeds.
Well, managing them so that because I still, there's a chance that I could overshoot.
Right.
Also, so I want to be careful not to like pump it up too much, unless I'm willing to like sacrifice that character to like zoom 4 spaces off and like kill somebody else off.
Got it.
And then if I get stopped by a wall, then I crash the same way that I would somebody else if I was like fighting somebody.
Cool. Okay, so I've taken 2 actions. I could use my token to take a third, but I don't think I will.
Okay.
It's your turn.
So Pete's just endangered one of my tiles right here. So basically, like I said, if you are disconnected from this mass right here, you have until the end of your turn to reconnect that character. So I have to reconnect them. The catch is that this character has to move 2 spaces and it has to move in a straight line. So basically, my only options are either moving left this way or down this way. So I'm actually trying to decide what would be a better option, which I think the best way to go would be this way. So I'm going to move 1 space and then I have to move a 2nd space, but I get to push all 4 of these tiles right here. So already we've got a really interesting setup for the table. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Let's see here. So I'm going to put this right there. And then let's see here.
So now that one has a move of 3. That. Oh, sorry. What
I
did
haven't
you put
upgraded
where?
anybody. I was just stacking these.
Oh, I thought you were taking an action.
Oh, no, not yet. I'm just organizing stuff. I'm just trying to think what the best thing I can do yet. Actually, the best thing I could probably do is just attack that character back. Just because I don't want that bomb near my captain, because that would be bad news.
So that pushes it 4.
Yeah, the other caches, though, that's going to be diagonal for me, which is bad news, too.
Yeah.
So in that case, what I really want to do is go... Let's see, 1, 2, and 3. So my captain, it's the movement, straight movement, I should say. It is clarified as non-captain clockwork tiles. So this character is the only character on my team that can actually move in multiple directions and stop at different speeds.
Which is similar to my team.
Yeah, a lot of the expansion teams that I've been playing around with kind of have this interesting dynamic where it's more about the teams, everybody except the captain having these weird different rules, and the captain just sort of running around trying to manage everything.
That's cool for people who buy the expansion. It's like they really changed the game.
So that's my end of my turn, and then it'll be yours.
All right. This is such a different game. I'm having a harder time figuring out my moves. Okay. What if I were to... Let's just do a thought experiment here.
Sure.
If I were to make my captain attack this bomb...
So that would get 2 damage tokens, and then because it hasn't accumulated anything else, it would be pushed 2 spaces. Yep.
Yep, and then I could... I could detonate this one, which would push this guy 2. And I would end up losing this if I didn't take an extra round to save it, but your stuff would
both
be...
of those characters, because they would be
Oh, you're
diagonal.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Resetting the board. I'm tempted to just protect this one and then just do some more charging over here. I think that's what I'll do. Just since it's the early game.
That's fair.
So I'm hitting this bomb with my captain.
So that's going to get pushed out 2 spaces.
Wait, that doesn't work. I can't do any charging without losing stuff.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, I could charge this one.
Well, if you charge that character... Oh, yeah, you're right. Unless you spent an action to move that character back.
Which is a terrible use of... It's not worth the benefit.
Okay.
Because I would...
Push that back.
You'd then be able to move yours back just as easily. No, wait, no you wouldn't. 1, 2... I could go here. You would need 2 actions to get this back.
Turn, yeah.
Interesting. But that's still just one of your machines.
Mm-hmm.
Another option is I could do 1, 2, and just leave that there.
Mm-hmm.
You'd then just need 1 action to reset it, but I'd have at least added 2 tokens here. At which point, the next round, if you didn't fix the situation, I could do the same thing again and eliminate your captain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually going to take up 2 of your actions, and in a place where I think it gives me a little more leverage on the field. So this is what I'm going to do.
So you're going to attack and then push 2 spaces out?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay. What was your first action? Just so I'm trying to keep track.
I moved this one from here to here because I was afraid that you'd punch it next round and I'd have nothing to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, something I want to try. So what I can actually do is go 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can actually use this guy and punch.
Yeah, so that eliminates my captain and ends the game.
I told you it would be probably a short game. But,
Yeah.
but I think there's, I think, especially with like playtesting, there's something to be said for how powerful or not powerful a character is. So, because also you could have eliminated my captain your turn too.
If I just use 1 more action.
Yeah, if you had exploded and like pushed my captain over the edge, that would have also ended my game too.
Wow. So I guess what we've learned is that these new characters are dynamic and unstable, and that and they also make it just that you have to do a different type of calculation to predict your actions. Like that doesn't mean that this game couldn't have gone longer if we had both been better at
like if I
foreseeing those.
Like honestly, my thing that I probably would have done if I hadn't had that opportunity would have been just flip my captain down, so that at least I had the option of like pushing it down, or it would be safer for me to keep that captain locked down.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the way that I designed the character anyway. The idea that this character basically pops up, upgrades the characters because these persist even when the captain is face down.
And your upgrading takes an action, right?
Yep, it takes an action. So I would pop up, upgrade somebody, maybe like on my next turn, like flip down. But like it's that thing where
that's a whole turn and a half that you've spent just to upgrade 1 of your machines. That seems like a really bad trade.
For sure, but that's the thing is that like it would be a bad trade to keep my captain utterly safe. Like absolutely safe, because like your bombs, the only way you'd be able to flip up my captain would be to explode somebody else into it to crash into it.
Well, I would think it's just generally really dangerous to ever put your captain face down, because these machines are almost worthless without it.
Not necessarily. I mean, the thing is that like I can upgrade once I upgrade a couple of these characters, which admittedly I was able to do my first turn. Like I can play pretty defensively with the captain. At least that's the way that I see it happening. But I do want to play more games with this character because like this is only the second game that I've had with this particular character, and this is also the second game I've done with Robo, and I tweaked Robo to make it a little more powerful too.
Well, I wish I had time to stay for a second game because I imagine it'd go somewhat differently. But I hope we can play again soon.
Sure. No, I think that was by far like our quickest tactics game too. So
it was like 3 turns.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think. That was an interesting turnout. But yeah, thank you for being on here, and thank you all for watching.
Thanks for having me.